5500 is a form. The form explains what you did wrong and corrective action. We should not necessarily take the 5500 as a punishment. It's a way that you know if there's anything happening on your route that you need to work on to fix, do anything like that. The 5500 starts off, you'll get a form. It has your route number, the date that the irregularity happened, the driver's name, whether it was you or one of your employees, the point of irregularity somewhere on the route, and then it'll have the signature of the supervisor or AO that wrote it out. It will have your supplier's name, which will be yourself, whether you drove or not, and your address. And then there's a section 1 that gives the irregularity, and that will tell exactly what date and what happened, whether you missed a scan, whether you lost a package, anything like that. And then it will explain in their words what you did, in their opinion, wrong. That's section 1. There's also a section 2, and that is what you need to respond to that 5500. You need to respond to this and turn it back into them within 10 days. This is good because it gives you a chance to give your statement on what happened. If you get one for your employee, then you will talk to your employee, find out from them exactly what happened, why the situation happened, and you respond that way. I always tell people if it's something that their employee did, then they need to respond with, I talked to my employee, they said they did do that. I explained to them why they have to correct that, and they will not be doing that again. And it's just your answer to what the 5500 was about. There's what's called a chargeable offense and a non-chargeable offense. And I actually talked to one of the contract officers recently about this. If you get a 5500 because you wore a tank top, because of a pair of shoes that you wore, because you backed up while you were on the route, all of those are examples that do not apply to CDS suppliers. They do apply to rural carriers, but we are not rural carriers. So they want to make us do what rural carriers have to do. So those, in the words of the contract officer I spoke with, he said if they were to get a 5500 for something like that, it doesn't mean anything. No punishment's going to happen because that is not in our contract and we do not have to abide by it. The backing up, right after that rule came into effect, they were writing 5500s for backing up. And we were told just to respond that we do not have a rule in our contract about backing up. But whether it's chargeable or non-chargeable, answer it. If it is chargeable, then there is a way that they're supposed to go about that. You're supposed to have 5 5500s. I believe it's 4 or 5, for the same action. So say you missed a scan. You need to have 5 5500s for 5 missed scans, whether they're the same day or different. After you get that 5th one, then they can schedule a formal conference with you. At that time, they should have already spoken to you other than the 5500s and said, look, we have a problem and it needs to be fixed. If it doesn't get fixed and it keeps happening, then you will be scheduled for a formal conference. They still cannot take your contract from you. That would be after everything was sent to the CDS office and they would make the judgment call on that.